Hello. What is up? Welcome to Free Advice Friday. I don't even know, what is the date today? The August 19th edition of Free Advice Friday. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys as always, answering questions for you, talking business and marketing and voiceover and all of those fun things for the next, stick around for an hour or so if you guys have got questions that you want to ask and get answered. I always enjoy doing these Free Advice Fridays. Hey, Mark, thanks so much for doing these. I have two questions. Why do I need a coach? What can a coach do for me? And where should I go to get my royalty-free music? Why do I need a coach? Okay. There is so much more to what we do as voice actors than just talking. And I think that's part of the misconception. And really, having a nice voice, even that in and of itself, having a nice voice has very little to do with any of this anymore, because more and more we see casting site directions and we see castings from agents saying, we want the real person, we want the authentic person, we want the genuine person. And so while once upon a time having a big booming voice or a very nice deep resonant voice or a soft spoken warm voice or whatever, well, those sorts of things did matter. Nowadays they don't matter as much. What matters most today is your ability to interpret and deliver the script, to act the script, to do voice acting, not voice talking. And unless you have worked with a professional who can help you to understand that, and unless you have worked with a professional who can guide you through what is trending today, what reads are booking, what people are looking for, you're going to spin your wheels. You can sign up for all the casting sites. You can have the shiniest microphone. But if you do not have the ability to do the actual voice acting, quite frankly, you're dinked. And so that is where a coach comes in. And if you talk to any top tier, top level talent, even top level talent will tell you that they still continue to coach, that maybe they don't do it as often as what they used to, but they still continue to coach. I still continue to coach. I try to book coaching sessions at least once a quarter, if not more, because things are always changing. The industry is always evolving, and there's always something else to learn. There's always something else to discover. There's always a new technique to deploy. There's always another perspective that you can take into consideration, which is one of the reasons why I like coaching with different people, so I can learn from different people. But honestly, I think this is part of the problem is today there are so many experts out there on the internet who make voiceover sound so easy. All you got to do is go out and buy a microphone and pay $400 for your voiceover, for your voices.com or your Voice 123 casting site membership. And boom, you're a professional voice actor and you're going to make all kinds of money, and it's going to be beautiful. And let me tell you, it's just crap. It's just crap. The competition level in this industry now is crazy, crazy. And if you know that there are 1,000 other voice actors that are out there that are investing consistently in coaching and training and honing their skills and crafting their skills, and you're going to try to compete by not doing it because you don't want to spend the money on it, you're going to lose. That's it. You're going to lose. Agents will sometimes ask who you've coached with before they'll consider you. Legitimate demo producers will very often not produce a demo for you unless they know that you've done some coaching. And that's because their reputation is on the line as well. They don't want to have their name attached to bad demos. That just makes them and their service look bad. And so all of these are reasons for why I think that it is absolutely important for coaching. Look, take any career. Okay. I was a firefighter for 17 years. And after 17 years on the fire department, seeing all kinds of different things, like every scenario that you could possibly think about. You know what I did every single Monday night? Every single Monday night, 52 weeks out of the year. Do you know what I did? I did training. The whole station, every Monday night, 52 weeks out of the year. Do you know what I did probably a minimum of 6 to 10 times throughout the year on weekends? I went for additional training. Even after 17 years on the job, I was a teacher. I was an instructor with the fire department. And do you know what else I did? I still went and I did training. All throughout the year, I went and did training. any job where you want to excel, any job where you want to be the best, any job where you want to continually improve, any job where you want to be able to add more value, any job where you want to be able to charge a premium rate, you've got to be the best. And that includes coaching and training. And so that is why I think that you need a coach. They are going to make you better, but it has to be the right coach. And I think that's important as well. Not just the latest internet expert who created a YouTube video or, had the good fortune of creating a viral TikTok video. Somebody who's been there, who's done that, who knows how to teach, and somebody who is just as interested in your success as you are, I think is what, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that is why I think that you need a coach. With regards to royalty-free music, there's a lot of different sites out there, but let me just clarify one thing. Royalty-free does not necessarily mean that the music is free. It just means that you do not have to pay royalties for the usage of said music. And so you can go to sites like Audio Jungle or Pond 5, and you can find fantastic royalty-free music, but you will have to pay for the track. You just won't have to pay for the ongoing usage of the track, and that's what makes it royalty-free. But I would definitely say Audio Jungle, Pond 5, what's the other one I'm thinking about right now? It's on Graphic River. It's part of the Envato marketplace. That's Audio Jungle is now part of the Envato marketplace. That's the one I was thinking about. So I think either one of those would be some good options to go and look to. Great question. Hopefully that answers your question. What a kickoff to Free Advice Friday. Welcome, everybody. For those of you that are joining in on the broadcast, this is the part of the week where I like to hang out here live on YouTube. And if you've got a voiceover, business, and marketing related question in particular, that's what I'm here for. I am here to answer those questions for you and happy to answer those questions for you. So feel free to type those in the comments. I will be keeping an eye on the comments. And when I see those questions pop up, certainly going to do my best to answer them for you. Very quickly, I wanted to point out the new episode of the Summer Series podcast. If you haven't listened to that one yet, it is called Why You Need Video Demos and How to Make Them. And the contents of the podcast are, as you would expect, why you need video demos and how to make them. So some thoughts on why I think video demos are so important as part of an overall marketing strategy, and also some tips on some places where you can go and get those audio demos produced. So if you want to check that one out, just through the link in the chat there, it's available there, or of course, wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. Uncle Roy is in the house. Welcome, Uncle Roy. Welcome, Clark. Mark in the house. Good to see you, Kim. Thanks for hanging out. Bob says, hey, Mark, I tagged you in an Instagram reel for a video demo. If you see it, tell me what you think. Bob, I did see them, and I left a like on those videos. Man, it doesn't have to be fancy, right? It just has to be something that gives you visuals to go along with it that you can include in social media, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. But I did see those. I don't remember if it was last night or early this morning, Bob. Dun, 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 dun. Kim says, I've received coaching from Dave Walsh and Thom Pinto. Recommend them both. Yeah, I've coached with both Dave and Thom Pinto. Thom is just, he's so freaking good. Like, honestly, I don't even know how to adequately describe how good Thom is at what he does. If you are thinking about anything in the documentary space or that broadcast narration space, I mean, like, come on, there's just, Thom's the guy. There's nobody else. Thom is the guy. And Dave is going to help you figure out who you are, what is your authentic voice that you bring to the table. And once you identify what your authentic voice is and what your authentic read is, then you can apply that to just about any genre. But I will say with Dave too, Dave is equal parts coaching and performance and therapy. And you may think, well, that doesn't interest me, but let me tell you something. We all need therapy. Every stinking last one of us needs some level of therapy. If you are in the creative space, if you are trying to be creative, if you are trying to tap into your emotions to be able to better deliver a script, every single one of us needs even this much therapy. And that is something that Dave is absolutely incredible at, just pulling out reads that you probably didn't even know that you were capable of delivering. And I am a huge, huge fan of Dave Walsh. So either of those guys, Dave or Thom, absolutely great coaches. Let's see, where are we going? Voice for Word says, double check the usage. There can be limits to what you use it for. And that is in reference to royalty-free music. And absolutely make sure that you do check the usage and understand it. Most of the time with royalty-free music, the usage is for nonprofit, right? And I don't mean nonprofit like charitable. I just mean if you're going to take that track and turn it into something that is going to generate a revenue stream, then you're going to sell it, right? You're creating something where you're going to sell. That's usually where the end comes for royalty-free music. So make sure, you definitely check the terms of service so that you understand clearly what the usage is. All right. Don't mind me, guys, as I jot down notes. It's because I like to add time codes to the video, and I add chapter markers in the video after the broadcast is done. That way you can link straight to questions that I answer. So that's why if you see me staring down at my desk, it's because I'm writing down time codes. Mark says, hi, Mark. My agent has a number of auditions that require Source Connect if I book. Is there a good starting package for Source Connect that can get me started quickly and easily if I book? I think there's the one thing that I would suggest to everybody: sign up for a Source Connect account if you've never done it before. Sign up for a Source Connect account, download it, get it on your computer, get it set up. I believe you get a 10-day or a 14-day trial or something like that. So download it, get it on your computer, get familiar with it, understand how it works, figure out how to do the settings, the port mapping, and all of that sort of stuff so that you know how to use it at the very least. And then it's ready to go. If you don't want to subscribe to it right away, at least you know how to use it. And then you can tell your agents that you're prepared for it. If you get a booking that requires it, then all you have to do is activate it. And you can activate. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe Uncle Roy mentioned this, but I believe that Source Connect now offers day passes. They never used to, but I think they offer day passes now. So you can either pay outright, and it's like whatever it is, $600 or $700 or something like that, maybe. You can pay month to month for Source Connect Standard, which is what is around $35 or $40 or something like that. And now they also have day passes, which they didn't previously offer, but now they do. So the day pass is an option. But again, I want to make sure that I know how to use the software so that I'm not just being like, oh, I booked a Source Connect session. Now let me figure this out. And so I would say definitely at least download it and take the free version of it for a test drive first. And then when the need comes up, maybe the day pass is the answer, or maybe it's the month to month. The one thing that I would point out, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, if you pay out Source Connect, which is, Will just said it's $600 to pay out Source Connect. So you just buy it outright. I believe you get updates for a year, and I could be wrong on this, but I think you get updates for a year. Whereas if you pay month to month, you will always have the latest version. You will always have access to the latest update. Either way, it should be a tax write-off. Again, check with your accountant or your financial guru to confirm that. But I know that I am able to write it off. And so that's one of the other benefits of it as well. But Mark, it's one of those things where I don't think I've seen an agent audition in 2 years that did not require Source Connect. And I've got 3 different agents now. And I legitimately don't think I've seen one agent audition in the last 2 years that didn't require either Source Connect or IPDTL. Although I would say Source Connect absolutely is the dominant choice. It's where the industry's moving now that more and more we've embraced the home studio, and we have COVID to thank for that. That sounds odd to say, but like if a good thing came out of COVID, it's that we embraced the home studio a little bit more. But Source Connect is a solution for that, for not having to go in and record in person. So hopefully that answers your question, Mark, but definitely that is something that you're going to be seeing a lot more of. Dakota says, hey, Mark, I watch and listen to everything you put out. Could not be more thankful for everything you put out. Well, hey, I am very happy to do it. I love being able to give back. I know what it was like when I was starting out. And when I was really getting started, there wasn't a lot of people that was doing anything like this. There was nobody out there that was doing live streams or writing blogs or anything like it. Just didn't really exist, which is one of the reasons why I started writing a blog in the first place, like whatever it was, 10 or 15 years ago, because I was just documenting my journey and all of the things that I was learning along the way. And so I know what it's like to get started. I know what it's like to build something when you don't have a clue what you're doing. And if I can share some advice and help some of you guys jump the learning curve, I think it makes the industry better on the whole, right? If there's more voice actors that are out there doing it the right way, doing things the right way, I think it makes the industry better as a whole. Presumably, a gig from an agent would more than cover the price of Source Connect. Yep, that's a fairly safe assessment. But I understand if you're not booking it. I mean, look, I will tell you straight up. I signed up for Source Connect in probably April. I think probably April of 2020. I signed up for Source Connect because all of my agents told me you've got to have Source Connect. And so I signed up for it. And so I've been paying for it every month for 2.5 years. And I think that I have used it 3 times maybe in 2.5 years. I just look at it as part of the cost of doing business, right? I want to be able to know that I'm ready in the event that somebody does need it. All right, let's see. Where are we going next? Clark says, how did you go about the creation of your logo? Getting ready to start working on my website. So the markscottvoiceover.com logo, which is just right. Basically, I created that myself because whatever. I don't know. I'm one of those guys where I think there are certain instances where there's too much, maybe a little bit too much emphasis put on logos. Like I cannot tell you after a decade of full-time voiceover and 2 decades of doing voiceover, I cannot tell you that I have ever won or that I have ever lost a job based on a logo. And I think sometimes when we're starting out a business, we're like, oh, I got to get a website. Oh, I got to get a logo. Oh, I got to, and I got to come up with my business name. And we think that these are the important things, but these are not the important things. That being said, if you're going to get a logo created and that logo is going to be a reflection of your brand, I do think you want to put a little bit of thought and a little bit of effort into it. I can tell you that the VOpreneur logo, which is now, I've trademarked VOpreneur, that logo I had created through 99 Designs. And I was super happy with the process that I went through on 99 Designs. 99 Designs is kind of a freelance site for graphic designers where you have the ability to put designs. You start a design contest is basically what happens. So you start that design contest and you kind of lay out the specs of your project, what you're looking for. Maybe I like these colors or this font, or they make you choose from different logos to say, I like this style or whatever. And so then you put out this design contest where designers are then allowed to submit their, I guess basically it's like us submitting an audition, right? They're submitting their version of an audition of your logo. And then from there, you get to choose your favorites. You get to tell people, I don't like this one. I do like that one. You get to go through a certain number of rounds of revisions and everything. And then in the end, you pick the winning logo and that's what you work with. And so that's what I did when I did the VOpreneur logo. And I was, like I said, I was thrilled with that process. I thought it was really super easy to do. I have no complaints or issues with 99 Designs at all. And if I was ever going to get another logo created at this point, I would absolutely go back and run another design contest on 99 Designs. I also know that Joe and Karen from Voice Actor Websites do logo design as well. And so if you were thinking that you want to get a logo and you want to get your website done at the same time, I would say that it is absolutely worth a conversation with Joe and Karen to see, whether or not that might be a way that you want to go and whether or not they might be the people that you want to have help you with that process. Hope that helps you, answers your question, Clark. Mark says, Spectrum here in LA helped me set up the port settings over the phone for free. Yeah, opening the port, which is, everybody's like, what are you talking about? It's something that you have to do on Source Connect to ensure that you have a more stable connection. And basically, it's just tapping into the settings on your internet router and there's one setting that you have to change. I have a Linksys internet system here, and it's really easy for me through the app. It took me 30 seconds to go in and map my ports. It was not hard to do. But, and I was able to find the instructions. I think George Whittam, has instructions for how to do it. But if you don't know how, there are some services that can help you do it and make sure that you get it done right. But that port mapping is important. All right. Welcome to Free Advice Friday, everyone. If you've got a voiceover business and marketing question that you would like to get answered, please feel free to type your question into the comments. And I am keeping an eye on the chat window here. When your question pops up, I am more than happy to answer it for you. That is how Free Advice Friday works. Lisa Ray says, what things should we look for in a good CRM? Do you have any recommendations? When it comes to CRM, most of them basically do the same things. I'm just going to put a link in the chat here, and I'm tagging you in it, Lisa. I use Nimble, and I've been using Nimble for a number of years now. I love it. It's pretty user-friendly software. It does all of the things that I need to do. It's affordable, which I think is really nice too, because CRM can get expensive the more bells and whistles that you get into. If you click that link that I just put in, it is not a direct affiliate link. It just gives you an extended trial. That's all. I just went to Nimble and said, like they were offering a 10-day trial, and I said, 10 days is enough. I'm going to send a lot of people your way. Would you be willing to give me a little bit longer trial? So if you sign up at that link, you'll get a 45-day trial, fully functioning, no credit card required, to test drive Nimble. So what am I looking for in a CRM? I need the ability to organize my database, which is really what a CRM does in the first place. I want to be able to tag my database. So tagging is just a way of organizing. Again, so let's just say that I put in Joe Smith, and Joe Smith works for an explainer video company, and that explainer video company is located in the United States. So I might add a tag of explainer, and I might add a tag of United States, and I might add a tag of client, for example. And so every single person that goes into my CRM, as I add those tags, that just becomes another way that I search my database. So then when I go to J. Michael Collins and I get a brand new explainer video demo produced, now I can go into my CRM and I can click on the explainer tag, and everybody that is in my database that is tagged with explainer now pops up, and I can send out a targeted message to those people saying, hey, here's my brand new explainer video demo. So being able to tag, I think, is really important because it helps you to better organize your database. I think being able to add links like social media profiles is really handy because it keeps everything in one place, right? If I know that it's time for me to talk to Jane Doe again, and I'm looking for something that I can use as an excuse to reach out to Jane Doe, one of the very first things I might do is scroll through some of her social media profiles to see if there's any new content there. So having those social media profiles accessible makes life a lot easier. So I want to be able to put in links. I also need to have some sort of follow-up system built in place. And this is really what most CRMs come with this. Not all, but most do. So with Nimble, for example, they have what is called a stay in touch cycle. And every single contact card that you put into your CRM, you have the option of adding a touch cycle reminder to. And you can set it to daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, or you can set custom touch cycles as well. So let's say that Bob Smith goes into my CRM and I put him on a monthly stay in touch cycle. What's going to happen is every 30 days, I go into my CRM, I open up my touch cycle screen, and it shows me red clocks and green clocks. Green clocks are people that I've communicated with. Red clocks are people that it's time for me to reach out to again. So rather than me having to remember on my own to reach out to people in my database every 30 days, for example, Nimble will remind me automatically that it is time for me to reach out to so-and-so again. And so that, I think, is a really important feature for a CRM. Another thing that I do like about Nimble is it's what is called deals, and it's basically meant as a way of tracking sales or potential sales. I've set it up to track auditions. I don't track every audition. Like I don't track agent auditions, for example, where I have no control over those. But auditions that I'm doing for my client, I track those auditions because I can follow up a week later and be like, hey, just wanted to confirm, did you receive it? Or is the project still going forward or whatever? So it reminds me. I can also use it as a way of tracking jobs. So, this one I submitted a quote for, or this one, the audition was approved and now we're just holding or whatever. And so it becomes a nice way to track jobs. Most CRMs, even basic CRMs, offer a lot of the same basic functionality. It's just some of the extra bells and whistles that are offered. HubSpot offers a free CRM, but with that free CRM, you're basically just getting a glorified task list. And if you want to get any more bells and whistles on top of that, it starts to get a little bit more costly. Nimble is one of the, like I said, that's the one that I use. HubSpot is one that a lot of voice actors use, the free version of HubSpot. Voice over View is a very popular option for voice actors, although I wouldn't consider it a traditional CRM. It does some things that CRM doesn't do, and it doesn't do some things that CRMs do, but it's certainly something you could check out. Brad Newman from Upper Level Hosting has created Upper Level CRM, which is a basic CRM that you can use. If you're a Gravy for the Brain member, they offer a basic CRM for free for members. Badalgo, I think it still offers a free CRM for members. So that's something that you could look at. Cloze, Cloze, Cloze. That's another one that I know people have used in the past. And Zoho, Zoho, is another one that people have used. So hopefully that gives you a few options to consider, Lisa, and some things to look into when it comes to CRM. The biggest thing is the sooner that you start with a CRM, the better, because the larger your database grows before you get a CRM, the more of a pain in the butt it's going to be to ultimately set up that CRM. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Dakota says, I wanted to know what direction you feel is good in terms of initial contact with game developers through LinkedIn. Assuming first I follow their company page and like and share posts. Thanks again. Don't be afraid to connect with people, right? Like that's what LinkedIn is all about. It's in the name of the social media platform. Can you follow the page? Absolutely. Can you engage with the content? And should you engage with the content? Absolutely. But can you also send a connection request directly to a developer and see whether or not they'll accept it? Of course you can. And if they accept it, can you start to have a conversation with them through LinkedIn direct messages? Absolutely. Would I come straight out of the gate, guns blazing, saying I'm a voice actor? Can I send you my demo? Nope, I probably wouldn't go quite that quickly. But I certainly think that it's not outside of reason to send that connection request and have that conversation. At the end of the day, you got to remember that most people that are on LinkedIn anyway, they are professionals looking to connect with other professionals for professional purposes. I think what makes the difference is in how you approach it. And so just don't come out of the gate trying to do a hard sell. I think that's the one thing that I would watch out for. Will says 6-month support and upgrades, though I'm pretty sure new versions remain backward compatible. So realistically, you wouldn't need to re-up a perpetual license again for multiple years, if ever. And that's in reference to Source Connect. And if you buy Source Connect, if you buy it outright, that's what Will's talking about there. Smokey the Bear. Are the intro to VO group classes offered by different studios even worth it? Should a VO rookie just go straight to one-on-one coaching? And who would you suggest for a coach in this situation? This is a tricky one to answer because there are some voiceover classes that I think are pretty good. There are some voiceover classes out there that I think are pretty bad. And there are some voiceover classes that are out there that I think are complete and utter con jobs and should probably be illegal in some states. And so you do have to be very careful when you look at what you're signing up for. Some of these places, they'll sign up and they'll like, we'll have you demo ready after 4 lessons. And then you do 4 coaching lessons with them. And then they produce a demo for you. And you walk away thinking, all right, I'm good to go. I'm coached up. I've got my demo. It's time to start making money. But the problem is for most people, after 4 lessons, you're not ready. And the demo that you've got is garbage and unmarketable. And now you've just pissed $2,500 down the toilet for something that you can't even really use. Again, not all of them are like that, but there are some that are out there that I think you have to be cautious of. I am not going to name names at a YouTube broadcast because I am not interested in getting sued. But I do think you have to be careful. I do think you have to do your research. Do I think that you might be better off just finding a good, reputable coach and starting there? Yes, I do. Is that going to be the most affordable option for you? Realistically, no, it probably isn't. But then the question becomes, are you looking for affordability or are you looking for quality, right? Can I do an intro to VO class and get a new demo and it costs me a lot less? Absolutely. Does it give me anything to work with when I'm done? Not necessarily. Can I go out and find a coach and work one-on-one and it's going to cost me a lot more money? Yes, it is. But are you going to be in a much better position to get a return on that investment at the end of said coaching? Yes, I believe you are. And so those are the things that you have to think about. If you're looking for a coach that would just give you a general assessment and, maybe put you through a bunch of reads, get you to do some narration reads, some commercial reads and different things like that and say, hey, I think you've got something to work with, or no, I don't think you're ready yet. Uncle Roy is watching the broadcast right now, and Uncle Roy is absolutely somebody that I trust. He was my first coach. I've done 2 demos with him. Both of them were nominated for Voice Arts Awards. He's a good guy. He's the real deal. And I think that he could definitely be somebody that would be worth reaching out to if you wanted to maybe start out that way with just book a session, do an assessment, and kind of see where things are at, which I think it's a really good strategy. And I hope that answers your question. Welcome, Bev. What are you doing in Niagara Falls, New York? Are you visiting, or is that where you're moving? I never did hear where you were moving. Welcome, Paul. Listening live from Berlin. Nice. Look at us. We are global. All right, let's see. Thom says, what is your opinion on joining local social organizations, Kiwanis, Lions Club, etc., for networking and marketing? Why not? Right? Every single person that you get in front of is either another lead or a potential connection to another lead. I think if in-person networking is something that you enjoy, I think if it's something that you're good at, I think that there are absolutely opportunities to learn. And here's the other thing that I would encourage you to think about. Sometimes we think about these things strictly from a voiceover bookings standpoint for return on investment. If I join my local Lions Club, is that going to result in voiceover work for me? And that's only one way of looking at it. And I think that's the very tiny box way of looking at it. Now, what if you join the Lions Club and you end up developing some really strong relationships with some other very successful people, some very successful business people, for example? And what if those business people become mentors for you? What if those business people become a resource where, I'm stuck in a situation in my business and I'm not sure what to do, or I need an accountant. Can you make a recommendation? I need a lawyer. Can you make a recommendation? I need this, I need that. And so I think there's a lot bigger circle at play when you're thinking about signing up for something like that. So the return on investment shouldn't be measured exclusively on whether or not it can get you voiceover work, but all of the other different ways that it might be able to benefit you, both personally and professionally, right? That could be lifelong relationships can come from things like that as well. But I definitely think there's value in joining organizations like that if that's something that you want to be a part of and something that's a passion for you, or if you're somebody who's very community minded and you want to be able to give back to your community. I think you've got nothing to lose by doing something like that. And Roy mentions there the Chamber of Commerce, which I absolutely think for a lot of people, the Chamber of Commerce should be something that you should look into as well, because there can be a lot of great advantages coming out of joining the local Chamber of Commerce. Steve says, thank you for the Marketing in Your Backyard course. Game changer. Highly recommend it for any VOpreneurs. Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. Booking in Your Backyard is the masterclass that I taught on Tuesday night, which is actually all about local marketing and all of the different strategies that you can deploy for trying to find and create voiceover leads and opportunities right within your own community. And Thom, part of what I talk about in that course is the advantage to being a member of some of these other clubs. And I talk about joining the local Chamber of Commerce as well. If any of you would be interested in checking out that course, Booking in Your Backyard, I just threw the link in the chat. The video replay of the live session that took place on Wednesday night is now available, and you can sign up for that at markscottcoaching.com. Smokey the Bear says, I was worried about scams. This is already reassuring. Yeah, and that's the problem, right? There's so many people out there that are just looking to take your money, and they don't actually give a flying fart whether or not you succeed. And they don't care if your demo's good or if you're ready to record a demo, because there's 100 other voice actors or wannabe voice actors that are coming in behind you ready to sign up for the next class. And they promise the moon. And I think that's one of the things that I would be looking for. Look, I'm going to tell you straight up, this business is freaking hard. Earning a living in this business is freaking hard. It took me 4 years of working my butt off. People, look at, I have no butt left. I worked it off for 4 years. Butt is gone. Uncomfortable to sit in the chair right now. 4 years of working my butt off, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes 16 or 18 hours a day, marketing, auditioning. And that is what I did to grow my business. And it was hard. Anybody that is telling you that this is easy, anybody that is telling you that you just need a microphone and you can start making money, anybody that is telling you if you just sign up for this casting site, you can be rich, anybody that is telling you all it takes is a profile on Fiverr and you'll start making money in voiceover. Look, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And that's one of the measuring sticks for, is this a scam or is this legitimate? A lot of these places that are trying to draw in new voice actors and trying to get them to sign up and trying to sell them these packages, a lot of them are not legitimate, and you do have to be careful. I can't even begin to tell you over the years how many voice actors that I have coached with where I have had the gut-wrenching responsibility of listening to a demo and saying, I'm sorry, but this is not marketable. And I can't work with you, and I will not take your money for coaching because you are not in a place where you have something to market and make money with. And most people don't tell them that. They don't tell them that they've got a good demo, or they won't tell them that they can't take their money or whatever. And I hate being the guy that has to say, you spent $2,000 and you have nothing good to show for it. And so look, one of the reasons why I am here right now doing this live broadcast, one of the reasons why I give up an hour of my Friday, almost every Friday, for free, is to help people avoid that very situation. To help people avoid that very situation where they get taken advantage of. One of the reasons why I started doing my podcast was to spread information that would help voice actors from being taken advantage of, because I don't ever want to see somebody take their hard-earned money and flush it down the toilet on a coach that shouldn't even be a coach, promising them something that is completely unrealistic. And in the end, you walk away with less money in your pocket and no way of making that money back. And it ticks me off. And if I can do a free advice Friday and I can help one person avoid that financial pitfall, then it is worth it for me to give up an hour of my Friday every Friday afternoon to sit here and be able to do that. And I know I got a little soapboxy there for a minute, and I apologize. That's just, I feel pretty strongly about that. And it really ticks me off when I see voice actors getting taken advantage of. All right, what's going on, guys? What can we talk about today for Free Advice Friday? For those of you that are jumping in and maybe you're new to the broadcast, maybe you've never been here before, maybe you're not really sure what is going on right now. This is the part of the week where I hang out on YouTube and I answer your questions for free on a Friday. It is what I say it is. I mean, I am the marketing guy after all, so I try to make sure that my marketing is abundantly clear on what I have to offer. So what I have to offer is free advice on a Friday. If you've got a question that you would like to get answered, type that question into the comments, and I will certainly do my best to answer that question for you. Kat says, hi, Mark. I've noticed that some VO artists have video reels on their website that feature actual commercial spots, and they've booked for both big and small brands. Okay, so one of the things I would say is there are companies that sell video versions of demos. So I go to Uncle Roy. Uncle Roy and I produce a commercial demo. And from that commercial demo, from that session, I get my 60-second audio-only commercial demo. There are voice actors that will go to places. I know Bridget Reel did it at one point. I don't know if she still does or not, but Bridget used to do it. Who's the other one I'm thinking of? Chad Erickson of I Need a Demo. ineedademo.com. He does video versions of demos. There you go. Roy says that Cliff does it as well. Cliff Zellman does it as well. So you would go to that person with the audio version of your demo, and then they would build a video version of it using stock footage. And so chances are, if you're seeing video versions of demos, like, 60-second or 90-second demo reels that have been turned into a video version, it's likely something like that, where they've had their audio version produced into a video demo. To the second part of your question, do we need to ask permission from clients to feature their ads on our portfolio or on our website? Yes. Always ask permission. There is an assumption that if something is on the internet, it is a free-for-all. That is a very dangerous assumption to make, and that is an assumption that could potentially open you up to copyright infringement and potentially litigation. You do not want to go down that road. Here's the way that you approach this, and this is what I've always done. I do a booking for somebody. One of the very first things I do after that session is complete is I put a reminder in my CRM for 30 days. When 30 days are up, I go looking for that project that we've done on the internet. If I know that it's something that's likely going to end up on the internet, right? If it's e-learning, it's not going on the internet. But if it's a commercial, if it's a corporate video, an explainer video, something like that, it's probably going on the internet. So I'll set that reminder for 30 days after the session. I'll go looking for it on the internet. If I find it, I now have a follow-up opportunity. Hey, Bob, it was so great to work with you on that project last month. I saw that it's now posted on YouTube, and I was just curious if I could have permission to share that on my website, and I would love to be able to promote the video via my social media as well. Always ask for permission. Almost never will they say no. But what you don't want to have happen is they go and find out that you posted it on their website, and then they come and ask you to take it down. And that is a very awkward conversation to have. And there are reasons why that can happen. For example, if somebody's putting something on YouTube, say a larger corporation has created a video that they're putting on YouTube, they may have a very complex analytics tracking system behind the scenes that you know nothing about. And they're using that as a way to track certain metrics that they're working towards for their video to determine whether or not they're getting an ROI. And if you go and embed that video on your that YouTube video on your site, it can mess up their analytics. And so sometimes they don't want it to be shared. And the other thing is, sometimes they don't want to promote the talent. For whatever reason, they just don't want to promote a talent. Now, in the 10 years that I have been doing this, I have been told no explicitly a handful of times. But I would so much rather ask up front and get told no than just assume that I can use it and then get told to take it down. So hopefully that answers your question, Kat. And if there's any more clarity that I can add to that for you, by all means, don't be afraid to ask another question in the chat here. Unscrupulous coaches who make unrealistic promises are like the SEO companies who promise #1 Google rankings. You got that right. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Mark says, did the playbook, then moved into a new home, and all that entails. Focus is all over the place. Direct marketing is my ultimate ticket to freedom from relying on agents, and I want it. And look, casting sites are a tool, and there's nothing wrong with having a couple casting site memberships as part of your business strategy. Agents are a tool, and there is nothing wrong with having a couple of agents as part of your business strategy. Direct marketing is a tool. And it is my opinion that direct marketing should be the biggest section of your toolbox. So if you've got a toolbox that's 60% marketing, 20% agents, 20% casting site, or something like that, right? That way, if an agent disappears, you didn't just lose all of your source of auditions. If a casting site changes their terms of service and you decide that you can no longer be a member, you didn't just lose all of your source of auditions. And so you have to build a business. Look, you want to get auditions and you want to get leads coming from as many different places as possible, but it is so dangerous to build your business exclusively reliant on somebody else and somebody else's business model. We learned this a number of years ago with one particular site that changed the terms of service, and overnight, Voice actors who had been making six figures on the site watched their incomes get cut in half because of the rule change that took place on that site. And so if that site was your only source of income, you just lost 50% of your income overnight, and there was nothing that you could do about it. And that is why you cannot be exclusively reliant on other people's business for your business. You've got to have auditions and clients coming from as many different places as possible. And that is what Voiceover Marketing Playbook is all about. That is what I teach in that course. I'm going to teach you how to market your voiceover business so that you can get that foundation of clients that are just yours, and no casting site or agent is going to take them away from you. And I think that's so important. You've got to be able to build your own client base, right? Find your own leads, build your own client base. That's where it's all about. And that is what Voiceover Marketing Playbook is all about. Let me just go ahead and throw the link in the chat for that one. Voiceovermarketingplaybook.com. Playbook is coming out on September the 6th. It'll be available from September the 6th to the 15th. And you know what? Since you're here right now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? I have not talked about this anywhere. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Generally speaking, on Playbook, I give away a leads bonus on the first day. So if you sign up for Voiceover Marketing Playbook on day one of the release, if you sign up for Playbook Complete, in the past, I have offered a 100 lead bonus. So that is 100 leads, actual people, actual contacts spread across commercial, explainer, e-learning, corporate narration, all the spread across the whole spectrum. So you sign up for Playbook on day one, you get 100 leads. Here's the secret. Everybody's talking about inflation, and everybody's talking about how my dollar gets me less. And everybody's talking about how things have gotten so much more expensive, right? We know gas prices are up. We know interest rates have gone up. We know prices at the grocery store are up. So I decided to do a little bit of inflation of my own. This is something that I have never done before and may never, ever do again. For the September release of Playbook, when you buy Voiceover Marketing Playbook Complete on September 6th, which is the first day, you have to buy Playbook Complete on the first day, I am going to inflate the number of leads that you get to 200. I've never done this before. I have my freelancer. He's literally been working on it this week. He's put about 20 hours into it for me already this week. So Playbook day one, September 6th, I'm inflating the leads bonus from 100 leads to 200 leads. That's the secret. I have not talked about that anywhere else. You guys that are here right now are the first to know. You're the first to hear it. All right, there you go. That's what's going on with Playbook. So keep your eyes out for that. All right, let's see. Where are we going next? Anna Marie says, do you recommend one-sided or two-sided business cards? What I recommend with business cards is no matter what you do, you leave some white space. I think that is very important. Sometimes I think we over-design our business cards. So I would suggest that if you're going to say you're going to put your logo on the back and you're going to put some or logo on the front rather, and maybe some contact information or something like that on the back, just make sure that there's white space, because a lot of people like to write notes on business cards, where they met you or what you talked about or things of that nature. And so that's the one thing. I think it's really important that you leave white space on your business card. I think it's also important that you are very cognizant of the design. Don't make the font too small. Don't make the font too fancy, and be very careful with the colors that you choose. You want your business card to be easy to read. You want the contact information to be easy to find and follow. And you want to make sure that there is definitely some white space so that people can take notes on it if that is something that they want to do. I actually did a podcast episode. I believe I did a podcast episode on business cards. Let me do a search for that quickly. Business cards. There it is. Going all the way back to episode number 8. Woo! That was a long time ago. That was like almost 3 years ago. Episode number 8 of the podcast, Better Business Cards. There you go. Anna Marie, you can check that one out there. All right, let's see. Where are we going? Memo says, can you remind us what's the service you recommend for accepting credit card payments? Yes, I use Stripe. I'm a big fan of Stripe, particularly because the exchange rates that Stripe offers are so much better than PayPal, which may or may not be relevant depending on whether or not you're working in multiple currencies. But if you are working in different currencies, the exchange rate offered on Stripe is better. The other thing I like about Stripe is that it's all automated, right? Somebody does a credit card payment on my website, like a client pays an invoice on my website, and the money automatically gets sent to my bank account. I don't have to fart around with it. All I have to do is just input the information into my accounting software, which is pretty quick and easy as well. So Stripe is what I am using, and there is a plugin if you are running a WordPress site. There is a plugin that I have. It's called WP Full Stripe. That's the plugin that I use, and I've actually set up several different credit card processing pages on my website. So there's one that processes in US dollars, there's one that processes in pound sterling, and there's one that processes in euros, which makes it really easy for my foreign clients to make payments as well. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see what else is going on. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up with all the questions that are in the chat, and I apologize if I'm missing anything. Clark says, let me write down the time code, 5120. First time studio, would like the option to make it portable. Renting currently. I looked up the booth of us from the episode with Jay. Any other suggestions for more portability? George Whittam has the Tri booth, which many of us have been watching. Joe Cipriano recently spent a great deal of time in Italy on vacation, and he has not stopped singing the praises of George Whittam's Tri booth since he got back. So I definitely think the Tri booth is an option. Vocal Booth to Go has a number of different options on their website that you can look into. But I will tell you this, what Jay did, it was moving blankets and PVC pipe. And I mean, it is not engineering rocket science to create a frame out of PVC pipe and put moving blankets on it. And they pack it into a duffel bag, which, you know, I know that George's does that already. So it's a question of, if you have the time, the patience, and the basic structural engineering skills to build a rectangle out of PVC pipe, I guess it's technically not a rectangle. What is a cubed rectangle? Is that what it is? I don't even know. But you know what I'm saying. If you have the ability to build one of those out of PVC pipe, you know, for a few $100, you can probably build yourself a nice little booth that you would be able to keep portable. If you just want to have something that works and you don't want to fart around with, I mean, what is the Tri booth is what, like $1,500 or something like that? Which I've actually been thinking about purchasing for myself to leave it at my mother-in-law's place. My wife's family lives about 8 hours away from us. And when we go up there and visit, it would be nice to just have something that I can just pull out, set up, and record when I need to. And we spend quite a bit of time up there as well. So definitely, I think those are worth looking into, Clark. Yeah, Roy says it there too. Tri booth, Vocal Booth to Go. Or, like I said, get some PVC pipe, get your engineering on, build your own. All right, where are you going? John says, thanks for doing these, Mark. Always get a ton out of them, which I'm very happy about. Thank you so much. What do you think about digital business cards? I'm actually really intrigued by the idea of digital business cards because, look, as great as business cards are, and you know, if you're doing any kind of in-person networking, I still think it is absolutely essential for you to have business cards. You've got to have something to hand out. But does anybody ever leave their house without this anymore? No, nobody ever leaves their house without this anymore. And so the idea of just being able to, you know, beam it to them, hold it up, NFC, boop, there you go. There's my business card. There is something about that I find very appealing. And so, I mean, I would certainly be open to doing something like that. All right, where are we at? I got time for a couple more questions. Let me just scroll back through here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. John says, I need to pull the trigger on an assessment with Uncle Roy. Everybody needs to get an audio studio assessment with Uncle Roy. If you have not had, look, here's a piece of advice for you. If a professional set of ears other than your own, regardless of how professional you are or think you are, if another set of professional ears has not listened to the audio coming out of your studio, how do you know if your studio audio is actually good? Uncle Roy offers the free studio assessments. Why in the world would you not take advantage of having an Emmy award-winning producer assess your studio sound for free? What are you selling? Right? What is the product that you are selling? Yes, we are selling our voiceover read. We're selling our acting ability, but we are also selling our sound. And buyers are not going to pay a premium if our sound is not on point. So for those of you that have never had somebody else listen to your audio to determine whether or not it's where it needs to be, I would encourage everybody to book a free studio assessment with Uncle Roy and get that done. Let's see. Welcome, Cody. What chair do you sit in all day? This one. I don't know what to tell you. It's a chair. I don't know. Here's one thing I will say. I went into Staples, which I don't think it's Staples. I don't think it's called Staples in the States. What do you guys have in the States? Maybe there's Staples in the States. You have the other one too, though. What's the other office supply place in the States? Now I'm having a brain fart. Office Depot, right? But I went to Staples and I sat in every chair. I was probably there for an hour and a half, sitting in every chair that they had in the place and trying to decide. The store people must have wondered what the heck I was doing, because I was actually rearranging their entire display because, as I narrowed it down, I like these 6. And so then I got to line all of those 6 up. And then, sitting back and forth between all 6. And then I narrowed it down. Oh, no, it's definitely between these 3. So then I put the other ones back, and then I got the other 3 lined up, and I'm sitting there, going back and forth between the 3 different chairs. And they're like, what are you doing? And finally made the decision that I of the chair that I wanted to get. But one thing I will encourage is this: don't go cheap. The chair that I bought was $100 more than the one that I was going to get. And the only reason why the other one was the one I was going to get is because it was $100 cheaper. But then I was like, okay, first of all, it's a tax write-off. And second of all, if my butt is going to be parked in this thing all day, I need something that's comfortable and something that I want to sit in. And I am not afraid to spend a little bit of extra money to make sure that I have something that is comfortable, something that I can enjoy sitting in, something that's got a little bit of lumbar support, something that can recline, because, hey, look, every once in a while, I like to just recline it right back, put my feet up on the desk and sit and ponder the meaning of life. And so I would say, and I mean, at the end of the day, it still cost me like, I don't know, like $250 or something. Like, it wasn't crazy, stupid expensive, right? But that is definitely something that I would think about. And it is definitely something that I would not go cheap on. I want to have a good chair so that I can be comfortable and sit all day long. Because if your chair sucks, are you really going to want to sit at your desk and send marketing emails all day? Are you really going to want to sit at your desk and do social media all day? No, you're going to be constantly getting up because you're like, my chair sucks, my back hurts, my butt hurts, whatever. So I would say don't go cheap on the chair. All right. I can answer one more question. If somebody's got it, I can answer one more question. Let me remind you about the VO Mindset series, which is going on right now on my YouTube channel. The Voice of Fear is the latest video in the VO Mindset series. Everybody needs to be watching these videos. Everybody needs to be watching these Mindset series videos. The first one went up last week, and it was called Boomerang Thoughts. I've got 2 more in the can right now. And I've got 2 more that are done and ready to go over the next couple of weeks. And I've got probably 1 or 2 more that I'm going to be working on this VO Mindset series. Do not underestimate the power of narrative and how much of a difference the stories that you tell yourself can make in your ability to fail or succeed at voiceover. So the Voice of Fear is the newest video that just came out on, when did it come out? Tuesday. Click that link, watch that video when you're done with this broadcast. And I would love it if you'd share that video as well. Share it on your social media, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. I would love for you to do that. The Voice of Furlon. How did you deal with discouragement at the beginning of your voiceover career when it came to direct marketing results? I think the biggest thing I realized was that it takes time. And I think you just have to remind yourself that it takes time. It's really stinking discouraging to send a couple hundred emails over the span of a month or two and not get a voiceover job out of it. It is discouraging, which is one of the reasons why a lot of voice actors don't think it works, because they do it for a month or two and then they quit. They do it for a month or two and they decide that it's not worth it, and they're done. And I understand that, because it is hard. And that's why I think it's important that you have some other audition opportunities for you on the back end, particularly while you're building up your direct marketing business. That's where casting sites can come in handy. But look, you got to remember a couple of things. First and foremost, not everybody needs a voiceover every day. So not only when it comes to doing direct marketing, there's a scale thing that has to happen, right? You've got to send a crap ton of these emails, right? The more people that you reach out to, the more likely that you are to generate an opportunity. So that's part of it. But part of it is also timing, right? I have clients that send me auditions several times a month. I have clients that send me audition opportunities several times a year. I have clients that I only work for once a year. I have clients that send me work quarterly, monthly, right? It's all over the place. And so as you're sending out these emails, you have to remember, it's not like you're not going to see instant results. Very seldom are you going to see instant results. When you're on a casting site, you get instant results because the person posting the job needs a voiceover that day. When you're doing direct marketing, the person that you're emailing, they may not need a voiceover that day, but maybe they're going to need one in September, or maybe they're going to need one in December. And so one of the things, like I run a mastermind group every year for voice actors. And in my one group this year, there's one person who's been particularly discouraged because she has been doing a crap ton of emails. Like, she's been just nailing it, averaging several hundred emails every single month. And she's been doing it for a few months now. And she's constantly discouraged because she's not seeing the results. But then 2 days ago, she posts a message in our mastermind group saying that she just got this amazing opportunity, and it was a direct result of one of the emails that she sent. And so there does come a point where it starts to hit. My first year, I sent, I don't even know. I probably sent 3,000 or more emails in my first year. And I made $15,000 sending 3,000 or more emails. But in my second year, my income doubled to over 40 grand. Why? Because all of those emails that I had been sending, all of those seeds that I had been planting, started to produce a harvest. And so that's the one thing I think you got to remember, is that it does take time. I have had clients that have hired me the day that I sent them an email. I have had clients that have hired me within a month of sending an email. I have one client that I've been working with this year who I originally emailed 9 years ago. Like, legitimately, I talked about this in a session once, and I showed I went to my inbox and I showed the messages. 9 years from the initial contact until the first booking. I know that sounds incredibly discouraging. Rest assured, they aren't all like that, but it just goes to show you that you never know when it's finally going to hit. And so I think that's one of the things that you have to think about. But I also think part of it is just being realistic about your expectations in the first place. I did a coaching session with somebody recently who's planning to quit their job and go full-time into voiceover. And I said, well, tell me what your income expectation is for your first year. And he told me what his income expectation was for his first year. And I said, look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think that's realistic. I think that you can get to half of that. And I said, that's based on my own experience and, obviously being around in the industry for a while. And I said, you're going to have to send a lot of emails. You're going to have to do a lot of marketing. You're going to have to make a lot of connections. You're going to have to do a lot of auditions. But I think you can make half of what you think you're going to make. And so by reevaluating his expectations, hopefully that makes it a little bit less discouraging, because if you set your numbers too high for what your goals are that you're trying to achieve, you're always going to feel like you're failing because of how hard it's going to be to get there. So I think that's the other thing in this. One, recognize that it is going to take time. Two, recognize that you have to have realistic expectations about what is going to happen. Remember, I said earlier in this broadcast, I was 4 years to where I got to 6-figure business and really felt like I was crushing it. But that was 4 years of working just stupid hours, sending a stupid amount of emails and submitting a stupid amount of auditions. But that's what I did to get to where I wanted to go, and I wanted to get there fast. And I mean, to me, that was fast. Now, have other people done it faster? Yes. Have other people done it significantly slower? Yes. But having some realistic expectations, I think, is really important as well. All right, guys, I got to jump off, but thank you for joining as always. I do absolutely appreciate it. Remember what I said about Voiceover Marketing Playbook. I am going to inflate the day one bonus. If you've been on the fence about Playbook, if you've been thinking about Playbook, if you have checked it out in the past but didn't buy it, I'm going to inflate the day one bonus. September 6th, 200 leads if you sign up for Voiceover Marketing Playbook on the first day. Again, voiceovermarketingplaybook.com is the website. Make sure you check out the new episode of the podcast. That's available wherever fine podcasts are given away for free, or always at VOpreneur.com. And remember that the archives on VOpreneur.com are fully searchable. So if there's a particular subject that you want to find out about, chances are I've done a podcast on it, and you can absolutely search the archives at VOpreneur.com. And check out the VO Mindset series, which is right here on the YouTube channel. Did you subscribe? Remember to subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get notified when I'm doing Free Advice Friday. I don't think I'm going to be here next week. I'm supposed to be taking some time off next week. And no, next Friday is actually my daughter's 10th birthday. So I will definitely not be doing Free Advice Friday next week. But I do have it in my calendar for September 2nd. So looks like that'll probably be the next one, is on September 2nd. Thank you for watching as always, guys. I will get the chapters added into this. You can come back and watch later if you jumped in late. You want to see what questions got asked and answered. I appreciate it as always. Whatever you decide to do this weekend, have fun, stay safe. And as always, you know, my final instructions are going to be to go find some leads.